Subnautica isn't a horror game, but for a survival game, it really makes you jump. That clip startled me so much, and it wasn't even a Leviathan class creature, just a weird looking crab squid. There are thousands of videos dedicated towards the fear of the unknown. However, this video is going to be dedicated towards the lesser other of the two evils that plagues the ever so quiet world of Subnautica. Autophobia, the fear of isolation. You begin your journey involuntarily hurling through the atmosphere of an alien planet 4546b on the mission aboard the Aurora. But something has gone terribly wrong. Before you can do anything, you pass out in the life pod. When you wake up, you're greeted by the robotic voice of the PDA, the only voice you'll hear for most of the game.
You have suffered minor head trauma. This is considered an optimal outcome. This PDA has now rebooted in emergency mode with one directive: to keep you alive on an alien world.
If you had survived, others must have. But looking into the vast blue, it's clear to you now that trying to find another survivor such as yourself without help would be a near impossible task. But there's good news. You've landed in the safe shallows, a calm and friendly part of the oceanic planet, with friendly creatures of all shapes and sizes swimming past you. The only thing you can do now is survive. Before long, your PDA is going to receive a signal.
This is Life Pod 7. Coordinates attached. Pod is structurally sound, but the fabricator's bust. Requesting assistance. 7 out.
This gives you hope of finding friendly NPCs on this hostile alien planet. But as you inch closer to the coordinates, traversing the ocean bed, you'll slowly come to the dreadful conclusion that the life pods were empty. There's no one alive, no friendly face to greet you. You can find their crew logs, and eventually piece together that, unlike you, whoever were in those life pods never made it out, integrating themselves to the bottom of the food chain, with many meeting their ends just hours before you woke up.
I'm actually going to die down here. Captain!
It's not a distress flare. Stop waving it around like that. You'll catch the fuel line.
Life is a game which the universe plays with itself. I am done playing as this bundle of flesh. Return me.
With the last words recorded, their stories were etched into my imagination. The life pods were graves rather than the refuge I was looking for. And then something occurred to me. I didn't survive because I was the main character. I'm the main character because I'm the only one left. The snippet you're hearing right now is a piece called The Blood Crawlers. This is one of the soundtracks that plays as you enter the biome with the crashed life pods. From a sound design perspective, the Blood Crawlers serve a crucial purpose. They remind the player that isolation isn't always quiet. Sometimes it's broken by violent intrusions that feel completely alien. Subnautica uses their screeches to simulate the panic response, a sudden spike in auditory stimulation that triggers fight or flight. And yet, in the grand scheme of the game, blood crawlers are small, manageable enemies, but the way they sound, metallic, skittering, erratic, it makes them feel like an invasion into your own solitude. They violate the silence that you've made peace with. It's a powerful moment because it teaches the player that even in your loneliness, you're not alone. Not in a comforting way, but in a deeply paranoid, primal one. The ocean isn't empty. It's watching. These pieces are often interrupted by the diegetic sounds of the fauna that inhabit these wrecks. Through it all, our player character remains silent. Not stoic, not reserved, absent. Riley Robinson is what people like to call a silent protagonist. a clean slate that anyone can fit into. He never speaks, and in that silence, something strange happens. You start feeling the space. Without a voice character to mediate the experience, your own thoughts echo louder. Each gasp for oxygen, each rushed ascent, each close call with a predator. It's your internal monologue that narrates it. The game doesn't tell you how to feel, it lets you feel. Panic becomes real once you realize you've been holding your breath in sync with your character. Relief is visceral when you break the surface, not because the character says, "Ooh, that was close," but because your heart is pounding. This is what makes the fear of isolation so personal in Subnautica. It's not just happening to the protagonist, it's happening to you. The silence of the world isn't atmospheric, it's psychological. Unlike the usual protagonist,
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Riley has no quips. The only person reacting to the game being yourself as the player. This is why this game feels so ostracizing to play. With a silent protagonist, the player can truly shift their empathy from their character to themselves. This is what makes Subnautica so haunting. It isn't just the physical solitude, it's the emotional parallel that draws it to our own world. Humans are social creatures. We thrive on connection, on voices that answer back, on faces that recognize us. The silence of an empty apartment, texts left undelivered, scrolling through social media to only feel more and more detached. These are the real-world echoes of Subnautica's abyss. Riley's isolation feel eerily similar, not because we've crash-landed on the alien planets, but because we've all had to stare into silence, waiting for something, anything, to respond. In the game, you swim through vast, empty oceans with no one to witness your journey. No one cheers for your victories, no voice to answer when you speak. And in that quiet, you start to realize something real. Despite living in an era of constant online interaction, many of us experience an invisible, gnawing loneliness. The silence of a life pod becomes the silence of an empty room. The unanswered emergency transmissions mirrors text left unread. The deep ambient hum of the ocean mirrors the white noise we play to avoid thinking about how quiet our lives have become. Subnautica forces you to confront this. What happens when there's no one left to see you, no one to witness your efforts, your panic, your pain? You can die in the dark and the world doesn't blink. This is the essence of autophobia. Not just the fear of being alone, but the fear of your existence might not matter to anyone. That your presence, your struggles, even your absence will go unnoticed. Did that startle you? Did it make you jump? I hope it did, because no one's supposed to be knocking right now. Like Riley, do you often feel alone? Maybe you should send a text to your friend to hang out, because most likely they're in the same boat as you. 6 in 10 adults experience loneliness, so genuine human connection is a commodity few can afford. That's why in the ending, it feels so meaningful. You aren't just leaving behind a dangerous world, you're leaving behind the silence. You're re-entering the world where someone might actually finally hear you again. Loneliness has always been one of storytelling's most powerful tools. Books, films, and art have long explored what it meant to be truly alone, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. But no medium captures it quite like video games. From indie games to AAA titles, many single-player games also incorporate this trope. Because in games, you aren't watching someone else be alone. You are alone. The silence, the fear, the slow unraveling of hope, it's personal. Whether it's the quietness of Firewatch, the empty world of Hollow Knight, or the fading connections in Red Dead Redemption. Games can isolate differently. Each step you take is yours. Each moment of stillness, each breath held in fear, each choice to press on. That's you deciding to keep going. Even when a game ends, pieces of your experience stay behind in the form of time capsules. Players leave behind gear, messages, fragments of their own journey, little echoes for someone else to find. It's a game about being alone but not forgotten, and somehow that's what makes it feel so human. That's the quiet paradox at the heart of games like this. They build worlds of desolate and fear, yet players create communities within them through theories, speedruns, memes, mods, and whispered messages from the deep. Subnautica might not have a multiplayer, but it has a legacy. It reminds us that even in the most uninhabitable places, someone was here before. Someone left the light on, a tool, a joke, a message, something to say, you're not alone. And maybe that's the true message of Subnautica. Not just a survival story, but a reminder. Even in the darkest depths, someone's been where you are. Even in the silence, there's something worth listening for. And even in the loneliest places, we don't have to stay lonely. The ocean is vast, but we're swimming through it together.